In an apparently very painful moment on Tuesday evening, an elderly woman who appears suffering from age-related bending and muscle weakness known medically as kyphosis could be seen struggling and battling helplessly for the safety of her own life as a group of terrorists invaded and took over a church in Nigeria. The worshippers of Christ Apostolic Church, CAC, were attacked during their church service that was live-streamed on social media platforms, and the video live coverage captured the moment the elderly woman was moving from one hideout to another, hiding under table, trying to move fast and run for safety alongside others before the terrorists, who also parked the worshippers' belongings, intercepted the camera device that was live streaming the church service and probably destroyed the device. The attack, according to Evangelical Church Winning All, ECWA News Media, known as ECWA Nationwide Gist. The attackers were Islamic terrorists and they invaded the church located at Eruku community, a border town with Kogi State in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State around 5 p.m. on Tuesday evening, killing 3 worshippers at the spot and kidnapped several Christian worshippers in the church including the presiding pastor. The ECWA News Media has reported in recent days that the attacks on Christian communities in Nigeria is growing almost higher on daily basis, specifically stating that Reverend Father Bobby Pascal, parish priest of St. Stephen Parish in Kushgaju, Kagako local government area, Kaduna State, was kidnapped by Islamic terrorists in the early hours on Monday, November 17, 2025. In addition, the ECWA News Media also published image of 12 residents including an ECWA pastor that were kidnapped by Islamic terrorists last week at the Gidanwaya community in Lere local government area of Kaduna State. The safety of the elderly woman is yet to be ascertained as at press time, as the Kwara State Police Command of the Nigeria Police Force described the successful terrorist act as an attempted bandits attack, according to Sahara Reporters News Media. Eyewitnesses reported that the attackers came in suddenly, shooting sporadically, and gathered some worshippers, including the pastor, and marched them into the bush. The exact number of abducted victims remains unknown, but residents say the attackers fled through bush paths linking neighboring communities. The incident has left the community in panic and chaos, with residents and travelers fleeing into surrounding bushes for safety. At midnight on Tuesday, some stranded travelers in a viral video called for help as they could not continue their journey due to the terrorists who were on rampage in the town. Evangelical Church Winning All, ECWA Nationwide Gist News Media stated that, this evening, around 5 p.m. today, Islamist terrorists invaded CAC in Eruku, Kwara State while evening service was going on. The pastor of the church and some females have been kidnapped, 3 people shot dead. The church program was on live stream when bandits entered the church. In another report, the ECWA News Media stated that another Catholic priest has reportedly been abducted by Islamic terrorists in Kaduna. Reverend Father Bobby Pascal, parish priest of St. Stephen Parish in Kushgaju, Kagako local government area, Kaduna State, was taken in the early hours of Monday, November 17, 2025. The Gidanwaya community in Lere local government area of Kaduna State has released photos of 12 residents abducted by bandits last week. Reports indicate the attack left 4 people dead and several others injured. Among the kidnapped are 6 women, a minor, 3 young men, and an ECWA church reverend. The victims remain in the hands of the kidnappers, with the community urgently appealing for their safe and immediate release. Punch newspaper on Tuesday reported that at least 5 persons have been killed and several others abducted after suspected bandits launched 2 separate attacks in Eruku, a boundary town with Kogi State in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State on Tuesday. In the first incident, the attackers stormed a branch of the Christ Apostolic Church, CAC, during a special service, shooting sporadically before targeting worshippers. The Punch learned that 3 worshippers were shot dead on the spot, while the pastor and an unspecified number of congregants were whisked away into the bush. An eyewitness, who pleaded not to be named, said, the gunmen came into the church while people were gathered. They started shooting and 3 people died immediately. They later rounded up some worshippers, including the pastor, and marched them into the bush. The exact number of abducted victims remains unclear, but residents said the gunmen escaped through bush paths leading to neighboring communities in Kogi State. Earlier in the evening, the bandits reportedly launched another violent attack along the Ilorin-Kaba road, forcing travelers and residents to abandon their vehicles and flee into nearby bushes. A traveler returning from Niger State, who recorded a distress voice note obtained by The Punch, said, "We suddenly ran into them. Everybody abandoned the cars and scattered into the bush. They came around 6:30 p.m. and started shooting. 2 people were killed instantly, and we don't even know how many were taken. They're still shooting, you can hear it." A community leader, Mr. Benjamin Ayerib, told The Punch that Eruku has been under perpetual attacks for the last 3 weeks, lamenting that repeated distress calls to authorities have yielded no tangible response. "We have begged the local and state governments for help, but nothing concrete has come. We are living in fear every day," he said. Ayerib added that despite resistance from vigilantes, local hunters, the police, and the Eruku Progressive Union, the relentless attacks have overwhelmed the community. "We need federal help. These attacks are becoming too much for us to bear. We are pleading with the president to intervene urgently," he said. Sahara Reporters News Media also reported that the Kwara State Police Command has confirmed a terrorist attack in Eruku town, which occurred around 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November 18th. According to a statement released by the police public relations officer, SP Adeto Najire Adeyemi, the divisional police officer, DPO, of Eruku and his team, working alongside local vigilantes, responded swiftly to the sound of gunshots from the outskirts of the town. She noted that the combined security effort reportedly forced the assailants to flee into the bush. The statement read, "The Kwara State Police Command confirms an attempted bandit attack in Eruku, which occurred at about 1800 hours of today, the 18th of November 2025. The DPO Eruku and his team of police operatives, in collaboration with vigilantes, swiftly responded to the sound of gunshots emanating from the outskirts of the town, prompting the hoodlums to flee into the bush. Upon thorough search of the area, one male victim, Mr. Aderemi, was discovered fatally shot inside the Christ Apostolic Church, Oke-Asegan, while one Mr. Tunde Asaba Ajayi, another victim of fatal gunshot, was found in the bush. A vigilante, Shegan Alaja, sustained gunshot injuries and was immediately rushed to ECWA Hospital, Eruku, for medical treatment. CP Adekimi Ajo commended the swift response of the police and vigilantes. He also assures the public that security agencies will not relent until these hoodlums are totally decimated. Further updates will be provided as investigations progress, she added. Meanwhile, Barrister Opeyemi Bodand, in an ex-social media post written as a letter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, stated that, "I'm writing to bring to your President Bola Ahmed Tinubu attention a dire situation unfolding in Eruku community, located in Kwara State. Tonight, heavily armed bandits brutally attacked worshippers at the Christ Apostolic Church, resulting in the tragic loss of lives and the kidnapping of many innocent worshippers. This heinous act is the latest in a series of assaults that have plagued our community for months, with Osi, Eruku, and Egbe roads being hotspots for these attacks. It's worth mentioning that the state governor's efforts seem inadequate, and we desperately need your leadership and support to address this crisis. As the president, you have sworn to protect the lives of Nigerian citizens, and we're counting on you to uphold that promise. Eruku shares a boundary with Kogi and Ekiti states, and we urgently need an increased security presence, in particular, the deployment of military personnel, and I urge you to take concrete steps to bring an end to these attacks. Please, Mr. President, act now to save lives and restore peace in Eruku."
HumAngle, bringing you the news in a more digital way.
Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, under the command and control of the President and Commander-in-Chief, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has kept mum since early morning night on Monday, when Amag News Agency, the international media outlet of the Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, started sending and disseminating a photograph of Brigadier General Musa Uba in ISWAP captivity, indicating untrue. The Brigadier General, the Nigerian Army authority, had earlier claimed on Saturday to be safe and led his troops back to base, a statement the army issued to challenge media reports that the Brigadier General was captured and held captive by the ISWAP terrorists after the terrorists ambushed the 25 Task Force Brigade of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, killing several soldiers and civilian JTF members in Wajiroko village near Sambisa Forest in Borno State on Friday around 5 p.m. This HumAngle news media that was among the earliest news providers that reported the ISWAP deadly attacks on Nigeria soldiers on Saturday, after being challenged with a denial press release issued by the Nigerian Army authority that the Brigadier General was not kidnapped, claiming the Brigadier General led his men to fort through the ambush of the terrorists, forcing the terrorists to flee in disarray. HumAngle on Monday early morning published a news report and insisted that the Brigadier General was in ISWAP captivity. According to HumAngle, it was already in possession of a photograph showing the Brigadier General in ISWAP captivity, but, due to its editorial policy, it would not publish the image. Soon, the image of the kidnapped Brigadier General became available to some media through Amag News Agency publication that claimed that the Brigadier General was executed shortly after being interrogated by the ISWAP terrorists. The Amag only presented a photo evidence of the Brigadier General being captured, but any material evidence, if the Brigadier General has been killed, was not provided, following the apparent unfortunate development in the Nigeria Army community. Former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar on Monday in a statement personally signed called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to admit incompetence and the president should either ask for help or tendered a letter of resignation immediately. According to the former Nigeria Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, I am deeply saddened and extremely shocked and disturbed by news making the rounds of the killing of Brigadier General Musa Uba by terrorists and the failure of the military hierarchy to clearly explain how it happened or what went wrong, as initial official denials indicated that this was not the case. This for me is unequivocally a failure of political leadership, as the president seems only more interested in decimating the opposition by all means possible, while forgetting his crucial role as Commander-in-Chief of our armed forces. General Musa's death, along with the deaths of some of the troops he was leading, is one death too many and a bold terrorist resurgence our dear country cannot afford. I urge all citizens and our military leaders to take heart, as even this season shall pass away. To Mr. President, the security of the lives of our people is your primary responsibility, and you must live up to it or be humble enough to admit incompetence and either ask for help or resign. If I were president, I would order the military to occupy Borno State or any state under siege by bandits or armed groups until they clear those areas. We must care enough for the men and women who put their lives on the line for our sake. I offer my condolences to the Nigerian Armed Forces, the family of the bereaved, and indeed to all Nigerians. May this dark period pass over us as a nation, sooner than later. Premium Times in later report on Monday evening, stated that the brigade commander, Uba, earlier declared safe by the Nigerian Army after fighters of the Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, ambushed his team along the Dambo-Abu axis in Borno State, has now been reported dead. The terror group, ISWAP, has announced that it captured Mr. Uba and killed him. The group also shared photos to prove its criminal act. PR Nigeria, a news platform close to security agencies, also confirmed that the general was kidnapped and killed after military authorities thought he was safe after surviving the initial ambush. On Sunday, citing a HumAngle story, Premium Times reported that Mr. Uba was kidnapped after ISWAP terrorists ambushed his team alongside operatives of the Civilian Joint Task Force (CJTF) on Friday night. The army, however, denied that he was kidnapped and said he was safe after soldiers successfully repelled the ambush. ISWAP claims it executed Mr. Uba. In an Arabic statement published in its propaganda newsletter magazine, Amag, ISWAP said it had captured Mr. Uba and executed him after he was interrogated. The 2016 breakaway faction of Boko Haram attached a picture collage of Mr. Uba, showing when he was in office and when he was captured. A picture of the brigade commander from inside his office and a picture of him after he was captured by the Islamic State. The group captioned the picture, "Islamic State fighters overthrew a senior officer in the Nigerian Army after a successful ambush on a military force in Borno," the group said, adding that the commander was captured after he fled from the Wajiroko attack. ISWAP said as soon as it received intel that Mr. Uba had escaped, a unit of fighters set out to search for him, and succeeded in capturing him on Saturday, near a village, after he was wounded. The purported picture of his capture shows Mr. Uba's camouflage stained with blood around his legs. ISWAP said it interrogated Mr. Uba before killing him on the spot. The terror group further taunted the Nigerian Army, describing its statement as an outright lie and a miserable security failure. PR Nigeria reports that Mr. Uba earlier confirmed his safety to his superiors after an aerial operation that helped him escape the ISWAP attack. But the event took a tragic turn. Reports of his location compelled the terrorists to track him down, leading to his capture and subsequent summary execution after an interrogation, the platform reported. Mr. Uba's killings, according to experts, marked the first time the insurgents would kill an officer with such a high rank. His killing was blamed on insecure military communications within the Northeast Theater, PR Nigeria reported. HumAngle, in an earliest news report on Monday morning, stated that the Nigerian Army's statement that Brigadier General Uba, the brigade commander 25 Task Force Brigade, successfully led troops back to base after an ambush last Friday, November 14th, in the Damboa area of Borno State, northeastern Nigeria, has been challenged by an exclusive, verified image obtained by HumAngle. The image shows the senior officer alive but held by insurgents, contradicting the military's official account. The ambush by ISWAP fighters on a joint military and civilian joint task force, CJTF, convoy on View Road resulted in the deaths of several soldiers and CJTF members, with the general's whereabouts initially reported as unknown. HumAngle's early report cited sources on the ground who said the general was abducted during the attack. We later reported that he had escaped on foot and returned to base, after several security sources insisted on this. The Nigerian Army also issued a statement denying the abduction, insisting the general had safely led his men back to base and that the incident was an ambush, causing casualties but no kidnapping. However, the military provided no evidence to back this claim at the time. A verified image HumAngle has seen shows the commander in the custody of ISWAP insurgents, with a gunshot wound to the leg. Verification was carried out through detailed frame analysis, geolocation cross-checking, and confirmation from independent security sources familiar with the region and the incident. The image, shortly after the ambush, shows the general surrounded by armed fighters, appearing fatigued but alive. HumAngle, in line with our editorial policies, has made the editorial decision not to publish the picture. This new evidence directly challenges the Army's public statement, highlighting a significant discrepancy in the information being shared about frontline realities. The contradictory accounts raise concerns about communication gaps within the military and the potential consequences of misinformation for public trust and operational security. The capture of a serving commander marks a rare and serious development in the ongoing conflict with insurgent groups in Nigeria's northeast. In recent months, ISWAP has intensified attacks around Damboa and the wider Borno region, escalating the dangers faced by both military personnel and civilians. Security analysts who reviewed the image described the abduction as both an operational setback and a symbolic blow to Nigerian forces fighting the insurgency. Families of soldiers deployed in the area have expressed frustration and anxiety over the conflicting reports about their loved ones' safety. Efforts to secure fresh comments from the Nigerian Army have been ongoing, but as of publication, no new statement has been issued addressing the emerging evidence.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.
United Nigeria Airlines confirmed in a statement issued a few minutes ago that two popular Nigeria social media influencers, Martins Vincent Otts aka Veridagman and Freedom Okpitritz Atsboy aka Mr. Jollof were deplaned and handed over to Asaba International Airport Police Authority for investigation after the two celebrities goes physical with each other inside the United Nigeria Airlines aircraft as the plane was about to depart from Asaba to Lagos early morning on Monday. In a press release issued and made available by the airline's public relations officer, Chibuike Uloka, the United Nigeria Airlines, confirms that an altercation occurred between two passengers, identified as Martins Vincent Otts, Veridagman, and Freedom Okpitritz Atsboy, Mr. Jollof, during the boarding of Flight UNO 523 at Asaba International Airport on the morning of the 17th of November 2025. In full compliance with global aviation safety protocols, our crew responded immediately and professionally to de-escalate the situation. Both passengers were deboarded without delay to ensure the safety, comfort, and security of all other passengers and crew members. They were subsequently handed over to airport security for further investigation. United Nigeria Airlines places the highest priority on safety and maintains a zero-tolerance policy for any conduct that threatens the security or well-being of passengers or crew. After all standard procedures were completed, the flight departed safely while the passengers involved in the altercation were still with the authorities. We remain firmly committed to providing a safe, respectful, and secure travel experience across our network. Videos made online by co-passengers on the plane showed Veridagman threatening to slap Mr. Jollof, and Mr. Jollof advanced towards him in a manner that was initially and apparently perceived by others inside the plane as a joke, until the situation escalated into a mild brawl as crew members and passengers tried to intervene. It is gathered that the fight occurred as a result of misunderstanding both had since 2024 wherein Veridagman had reportedly vowed to attack Mr. Jollof anytime anywhere. Shortly after the fight, Veridagman in a video statement said that, "I don't chop Jollof father for inside plane. Man way day bite, I beat am."
Give them wine. Give them wine. Give them. Give them.
Please don't. See.
I don't understand you.
Oh, I don't chop Jollof, father. Where's I please? See, they bite me. Man, where they bite? They bite. Man, where they bite? You know, shame, they bite me.
This person,
man, where they bite? You won't bite me. Man, where they bite? I beat. They beg, they help them. They bite me. Jollof, they bite me. If they bite me, I enter plane, I say, I'm not going to see today, you go slap me. I go near and I punch me, boom. When I follow him, he started bite me. Yeah, red. He bite me. Sure? Who is this man? Man, my phone for easy. My phone? Ah, he bites me. Oh God. He won't spoil my tattoo now. It's in teeth and no brush.
HumAngle, bringing you the news in a more digital way. HumAngle, bringing you the news in a more digital way.